fanciness.
Okay. Seriously? Start the video! Loading?
So here is my Unity 3D. I could have done screen recording, but I figure I have 3 monitors and trying to get Unity, the actual play screen, and my script editor, all of those things to record. I just figured, you know what, I'm just going to record it with the camera and hope it turns out alright. Alright, so I don't have a whole lot in this program. We have the main camera and the canvas. Everything's pretty much done on the canvas. So the canvas, I have my script for my buttons, which you move the camera. All of my images or my game objects set that are over here, so they're dragging over to this script so that it can keep track of which ones they are to turn them on and off. I only have the 2 scripts. One of them's the short, and then one of them's a lot longer. So every one of the letters has the short code attached to it here, the simple code. Basically, anytime that the items become active, so you can tell up here that they are not, so you can see the A is on now, and if I turn it off, it'll just click off. Every one of the letters is set to being off, and then the way that the code's written is that anytime it's turned on, it'll set, and it'll turn it off after the time has passed. So that's really all this does here. So when you see here, I'm looking at the A button, so I'll click A, and you'll see that the variables will change. There. And there. So I think it worked out pretty well. You'll see here, turn off after, that's a variable just for keeping track of how long it's going to take after you hit the button to actually shut off the light. Then the time to turn off is a variable that is really just to add, you'll see it down below. It's just to keep track of when the actual time will be. So the first one is how long it's going to take from the key press to the time it turns off, and then the second one is from the time that it's pressed what the actual time will be that it turns off. Then we have a whole bunch of images, A through Z, and that is so that I'm able to grab them and modify them as needed. And we'll scroll down here. So at the start of the function, I initially had it set so that it was going to be 1 second here, but then I'm like, you know what, I want to be able to test this on the fly, modify it as needed, so I remmed that out, and then here we go on the update. So every tick it's going to try to run through all of this. So the current time is going to be time.time, and we're going to every tick set the player pref for turn off after to the value for turn off after. So I set it in this one thing, and it'll set it for all the other ones, which I'll show in a little bit. This is something I added after the initial run, after I got everything set and tested. It for every letter of the alphabet. Let's see how far down we go. We'll go just there. So through A to Z, it's going to turn on the light. So I'm just setting the actives on all of them to true. And then it's going to go to wait a moment, which initially wait a moment would set the time to turn off to the time plus how long it takes. That's what it would do. And then if the time would happen, it would turn off all the lights, which just cycled through all of them to set them all to off. That was a whole lot of stuff just to label all of the alphabet for all of these things. So it made the code not really long, but just longer than it needed to be. In the version now, this never gets used, and this was just really to show it a little more split out. So see, wait a moment doesn't actually do anything, so I'm actually calling that function even though it doesn't do anything. Alright, so the other thing that I have on every one of the letters, I just called it the simple script. So this one here it keeps track of the current time, and then turn off after, and then turn me off at. So on start it doesn't do anything, but on enable, so when the other thing turns this on, it's going to run this function. So it's going to turn it off after. Here we go, we get the player prefs, turn off after. So now it's setting this variable, and then it's going to set it to turn off at the time, which is actually, in this case, 1 second after this has been activated. So then on update, so every tick, it's going to set the time for occur time, and then it's going to check to see as if the time has passed for here, and then it's going to turn off the light. So as it is right now, it will just shut the light off after 1 second. Previous version, which is over here, what it would do was it would cycle through, and anytime you hit a button, if you hit another button, it would reset the time to being 1 second later. So all of the lights would end up shutting off after 1 second. And I wanted to make it so that they just turned off after a second, regardless of other buttons had been pressed or not. Yeah, so there's your code stuff. Ooh. Fanciness. C D E F G H I J K L M N O P Q R S T U V W X Y and Z.
I hope you enjoyed that video. Be sure to hit the subscribe button down below and like this video and leave a comment down below. And maybe share it with all your friends. We'll catch you in the next video. Later.